what all this is. There you go. Always something, eh? Yep. I don't even know if this will work. But give it a go anyway. Oh, very bright. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Snow's almost gone. Another couple of days of cold and let's go over it. Bye. Well. Just the fellow I wanted to see. Hey, thanks for the seeds, Dave. Yep. Thank you very much. That was very cool. Going to be planting them not right away, but soon. Thank you kindly for those seed. I'll make some new seed too from it. I like the German giant radish. You don't have to eat a bunch of them. You just eat one and you're full. Thank you so much for the seed. I really appreciate seed. Oh, yeah. I was off YouTube for a while. Had a friend navigating me through. But tomorrow I'm back off YouTube again. I'm back at the dock. So, just here for one day. But I have been scrabbing YouTube here and there, though. It's been fun. Get people to help me. I'm doing a lot better now. I can see pretty good. I've done a lot of different things to help me see better. It's been a haul. Oh, yeah. My seed from last year, I figured it would cheer you up. Yeah, it did. It really did. When I looked at the mail and I had a family member read it to me, and I was just like, yeah. And I have it right here. Yeah, Mr. Knight. German giant radish, Dave Knight, 2024. Very cool, eh? That's a lot of radish, too. I like radish the best. It's one of my favorites and all-time things to collect. For simple fact that it tops off the soil with that nitrogen fixation, and that's what you want. Cheers. Thanks, Dave Knight. Oh, nice coffee. I just woke up and I thought, geez, I'll go live. 6:35. Oh yeah, invite. Copy. Oops. Invite. Oops. I'm not very good at this. My seed. Hi there. Hello. Hugs to you too. The greenhouse gets with the 70s, but 20s at night. Looks like that into March. Nice. Nice to see you too, my friend. Here we go. Invite. Copy. Hmm. I don't know what happened there. There's all this new stuff on YouTube. This all this stuff came out on StreamYard. I'm like, I don't remember any of this stuff. I don't remember any technology anyway. But I tried to put in copy and then paste. See, it's not letting me paste. Open sidebar, save as save. Oh well, screenshot, share. Oh my God, what a pile of nonsense, hey? Nonsense. Why can't keep things nice and simple? I guess there's no one coming up. Copy email. Gee, I guess can stream this to no. Copy. Copy. Gee, I hate to touch anything here. Yeah, it's not. Maybe I'll use the other one. Nope. I don't know. I was kind of hoping to have a chit chat. But oh well. I don't know how to get in there. Yep. Weird stuff. Yep. I think I better get some more coffee. Oh, man. Hey, yeah. Oh. I think it's time for the salmon time. Can't have fun, so. Salmon. It's kind of wet inside this bag. Okay. We finally had a friend help us with plumbing yesterday. Oh my. Too bad you didn't live near Dave Knight. He's a genius. Yep, he's a genie's ass. Genius. Mighty genius. I'm rolling always 420 in my garage. Well, Dave, I just might show up at your garage one day. I rather like 420. It's not 420, is it? No. Hey, Auntie Mama's Kitchen. Welcome, welcome, welcome there, little sister. Hiya, Pilgrim. Can't give you a wrench because I'm on StreamYard. My apologies. Main water valve is fixed and our kitchen sink done for now. You gotta like that. Everybody can put up Pilgrims there. A link to Pilgrim. Pilgrim's pretty cool. Make sure it's Pilgrim. I took away a whole bunch of wrenches and And but it's got nothing to do with Pilgrim or nothing. He's a good guy, but I mean, I just took away a whole bunch. I might have a dozen now. But people can put up Pilgrim's link there and stuff. That'd be, I'm okay with that. And today's coffee chat is about ask any question about any circumstance, about anything going on in the world, and I'll try to answer it. Of course, it's a pretty crazy world right now. You got a convicted felon and a war criminal, pretty much running the show. Thank you very much, Wild Edibles, because Pilgrim's pretty good. I haven't made it to any live streams over there yet, but I will. And Auntie Mama came in too. I seen her. And my little sister. Not you though, Pilgrim. But I'm just scaling back. I might be going live once a week. Well, not this week because I have a couple more things I have to do. But, if they're a good channel and people check it out, they can put up a link. But I'm scaling way back. I'm just not I'm just not a fan of social media too much. But anybody got a question, I'll answer it. I'll try to answer it. And it doesn't matter. You can ask any question you want. But if I don't have an answer for you, well, then keep looking. Hope you're doing well. I am Auntie Mama. Yeah. Auntie Mama's family. She's my little sister. Yeah. Known her for a long time now. Great human being. Freaking awesome human being. I like awesome human beings. Yep. I've been to her channel many, many times and will be again. Thanks for doing that, Wild. Yep. I got mail call this week from Dave Knight. And Dave Knight sent me, you got to be careful here. Not everybody nice, Turn that like that. And Dave Knight sent radish seed. Yeah, who's bad? Dave Knight is. Yep. I appreciate that, Dave Knight. And one day we'll be out in your greenhouse in your garage and spliffing one. Hey, cheers to Dave Knight. Road out there. I hear it is a rough rose. Okay, Auntie Mama, hope you're doing well. I hear you had it rough road out there. A little bit. Found out we lost one of our content creators, Caroline Diamond. She used to come to the town and was a member as well. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, sorry to hear that there, Auntie Mama. Put that over there. Top secret stuff. Yeah, it's terrible. Carolina Diamond. I don't place her. There's a lot of people, but I'm sorry someone passed. Really sorry. Yeah. So I'm just going once a week, and I'm gonna pick one day a week. Which day I don't know yet, but this week coming up I won't be. But next week after that I'll be on once a week. And it'll just be about coffee chat and ask a question about whatever you want. Yep. Some good stuff. But yeah, cheers. Cheers to coffee chat once a week. Also, I'm looking at all these animals come to the food forest here, like deer, raccoons, owls, squirrels, mice, rats. All these animals come here, and I feed a lot of the birds here, so that's probably what's attracting them too. But listening and driving, not ignoring anyone. Oh, that's all good there, Pilgrim. Chill, cheers. So what I was thinking on doing was doing a little series on all the little creatures that visit here, and some of them are like so fascinating. Like there's this little tiny, super fat green bird that comes here. And yeah, drive safe there, Pilgrim. And he's so friendly. He'll come up and sit on your knee while you're sitting outside, and he'll peck at the ground in front of you, and he'll fly around your face. And he flies really slow because he's so fat. But I've never seen him before, and he's completely green. And I've never seen a completely green bird unless it's like a finch or something, and or whatever. But this, I've never seen him before, and he's out there every morning. But he's pretty scary. He sticks by himself, but he flies right around the crows. The crows don't bother him. Nothing bothers this little fat, super fat green bird. And then I seen the cat down the road. Cash is the cat's name. I'm like, Cash, get. He looks, because I always give him little treats because he doesn't bother my birds. But he's checking things out. There's a lot of animals that come here. There's a ton. There's even like some big cats come here once in a while, and you can hear them jumping from roof to roof. They're big cat. Like I don't know if it's maybe like a lynx or something. I don't know. But I'm trying to rig up a camera soon. I've got 100-foot cable to go up to a camera. I don't want the main camera on the roof on Wi-Fi. I want a hard line going to it. Yeah, I need to get peanuts for the cardinals. They're pecking at the window. I know that's scary. Hey, they peck at the window and look at you. These creatures are like just blow my mind. Like they're so friendly. The juncos and the hummingbirds, and there's just so many. You could use your security cams in your yard. I've seen deer and coyotes on my trail cam. Yeah, I have that. You're absolutely right. I have that. Yeah, yeah. I have several cameras, really high tech stuff. I can do a sonic blast. I can speak with anybody around the house outside. I don't have to go outside. I could be sitting in my bunker and talking to you. So there you go. Yeah. They peck out the beetles. They hide in the trim in the fall. Yeah. There's so many kinds of birds here and little creatures. And there's like a half a dozen kinds of squirrels here. Some little scrawny, little emaciated looking ones to big, fat, huge gray ones or massive black ones. And it's like, where do you guys all come from? So now I can hand feed them peanuts, right? I just put it there and run off. And I'm like, wow. Some won't come anywhere near you. They're like, no, humans, run from the people that'll eat you. They're pretty funny, but it's pretty neat. But yeah. I've been thinking on doing some videos on all the creatures, right? And wow. Okay. It's salmon time. I don't think I'll keep this here video. It's funny I couldn't invite someone up, hey? Huh. Instructions for guests. Send this link to your guests. You may also want to share our instructions for guests. No, put it there, and there we go. Paste. I hope this is it. Ooh. No, if you're not waving, you ain't coming up. I'll guarantee you, you better give me the peace sign wave and give me that one too. It's quite famous here in Canada. Yep. And I won't be keeping this up either because I'm smoking salmon on it. It's always some problems with some people that like to get other people in trouble. Yep. Not good. My neighbor was hacked this week, hey? We all share the same server. So anybody that was on that server got hacked. And it's like, holy cow. And she came over and told me all about it yesterday. Holy cow, man. They really nailed that lady. They were getting a hold of people from a million years ago that she do. And I was just like, oh, wasn't me. And she's like, no, everybody got hacked. And I'm like, I didn't. Nope. Well, it'd be pretty tough to hack me. There's nothing to hack. A couple of YouTube videos on permaculture, yipper yapper. That's about it. I mean, yeah, but she was pretty puff pass. Wild Edibles says, oh, I found out that I have a bit of old iron pipe that I need to remove next. They told me that it's not for residential use anymore. That's really all they said. Oh, really? Hey, Shawnee Gross, you still have two eyes. Yeah, thanks. Hey, I see you had a live stream, but I wasn't available to watch. Excuse me. Cheers. I'm going to watch it though. Tomorrow I'll be in the hospital, so I thought I'd go live today. Yeah. Back at her. Actually, I'm doing pretty good with my vision. I take like about 10 different kinds of pills though. But, okay. Take some stuff I had to learn about and stuff because I'm not just eating anything someone recommends. I'm gonna go and dig some more. And I'll even dig where there's no information with people that know what they're doing. And thumbs up, everyone. Thank you kindly for that. It's very kind of you. I don't know how many thumbs up there is. I'm on StreamYard. We don't drink our water anyway, and they looked at me weird. I can't drink town water. No, neither can I. I get sick. I can smell it. I'm not doing it. I have reverse osmosis water. I have deep spring water, and I have distilled water. That's what I have. Not too much on the distilled water. You need those minerals, right? Yes, dig up information, whether it's true or not. Dig it up anyway. It's going to benefit you because there's a lot of things that, like I take a lot of blood pressure meds and stuff like that. I don't take Cialis or Viagra or anything. It's not necessary. but I mean, that's some of the things I learned. I'm like, oh, don't eat grapefruit. Don't do this. Don't do that. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. I don't even care for grapefruit that much. My dad did. He grew them. He was the only guy in Canada that had a grapefruit tree. they only grew so big, but he was happy with it. Yeah. It's the Marshmallow Man. I'll take well water. Town water smells funny. Yeah, pipe water does too. Yuck. Hey, Danny Lorraine. Good morning, Earthlings. Yeah, you too as well. Hey, I put up the invite there if anybody wants to come up. There's a copy. And there's that, and then there's that, and I found my way now, and paste, and boom, and it's coffee and chat and question about anything you got. And then we can, if I can't answer it, well, maybe the AI will answer it for you. Snow is almost gone here. We still have a little bit, but it's funny. I was thinking about making a video. You see the neighbor's yard? It's all covered in snow. Then you look over here where I am, and it's just a little bit here and there. And I'm like, night, day, right? It's pretty funny. But I was looking at it yesterday, about 1-ish, and I'm like, his lawn's like frozen with, foot of snow on it. And you look over at the front of the food forest, there's one little bit of snow on the other side of one of the hugel mounds. So I made a lot of hugel mounds. Dave Knight, is that really you? Are you waving, Dave? Dave Knight. Dave Knight.
Yes, it is.
It is. You didn't
I
wave.
gotta shut this. There we go. I just shut YouTube off. I was getting an echo because we're on Yard Stream.
Thank you kindly for the radish seeds. It was really appreciated, and that's very, very good gift to get and to give. And thank you kindly, Mr. Knight.
Well, I figured it was appropriate for you, Howie.
Yeah. Oh, I love that kind of seed. I love radish seed. This is my favorite seed. Did I mention it's my favorite seed, Dave?
Yeah, after the postal strike, I went and mailed that. It was like $1.65 to mail something across the country now.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of loot, man. That's a
lot.
When
we were kids, it was like a 1-cent stamp or a 2-cent stamp.
I remember that. I'm telling you, man, I remember it. I used to go and buy the Kinnickinnick stamps for 1 and 3 pennies.
Yeah.
They had a Kinnickinnick on there because you could smoke Kinnickinnick. You mix it with tobacco, it gives you a heightened enlightenment.
Yeah, every year you had stamps from last year and you had to go to the post office and buy a 1 penny or 2 cents because it went up. Yeah.
I have a stamp collection somewhere, a massive.
Yeah, I do too. I've got my dad's in my vault, but it's something that nobody does anymore,
So you got much snow where you are?
No, we got an ice storm.
Oh yeah, there was
the Gulf air hit the snow and we got ice, but it never melted because it's really cold at night. So there's a layer of snow, but everything's on ice, man. Like I hurt my knee walking in the yard; it was so icy.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt your knee, especially when you get older. But Danny and Lorraine said it's minus 23 where they are.
Huh.
And 4-foot snowbanks for Lewis's. Oh, and CR's here. Hello. And they're saying hello back to you. I don't know if you're seeing that in the chat there.
No, I'm not seeing it. I haven't figured that out. Oh, yeah, well.
You're a well-known, famous YouTuber now.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a redneck that likes growing stuff in his backyard. That's all.
Hey, I'm just a regular earthling. So that was cool when you wrote on there about earthling. Here's your seeds. Yeah. That was pretty cool, man. I thought it touched me. Yeah.
I got to get this light shining on my forehead too much.
Oh, that's your solar panel for a sex machine, man.
Yeah, come on. It. Yep. Who needs Viagra?
Sorry. Just trying to have some fun before I go to the dock tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good morning, Lisa from Growing on Vancouver Island. You have it. I need another coffee, Dave. I'm going to run for a second.
Okay. Let's see if I can get the chat here. Comments. There we go. Found it. I can see comments now.
Oh, good. There was people saying hello to you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's some really cool people in here right now. It's awesome to see everyone.
Yeah, you're up at 6 a.m. and it's like 10 o'clock here, So me, it's like mid-morning. Oh, Howie's on. But
Yeah, you're 4 hours ahead.
3, I think. We're Eastern.
3. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it's 3.5 in Newfoundland or something like that.
Yeah, it's like an hour west of me, and in center of Indiana, it changes to Central.
Did you see that snowstorm that hit Japan? I mean, I don't know what I'd do with 10, 12 feet of snow.
Yeah.
I mean, what do? Tunnel everywhere?
Well, I see they evacuated an island in the Mediterranean by, where Crete was.
Yeah.
Because there's like a volcano going to blow up, so everybody got off the island.
That ain't nice. Yeah, would that happen recently?
Yeah, a few days ago. Everybody's getting off these islands in the middle of the Med by Greece.
Oh, that's right. There was several hundred earthquakes there. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. I heard that. I didn't really put the correlation with the volcanoes in, though. That's some serious shit when you got.
Well, the island of Crete, it blew up, 3,000 years ago.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they have that village that was in. What the heck was the name of that village? Well, there you go.
Knoskus?
I don't know. Keep it up, Dave.
Keep guessing.
I can't remember. I've been mostly learning about different interactions with drugs and nutraceuticals. That's what all I've been thinking about is all the different things I've been doing and researching that and rest. And plus, not only that, we finally had winter, with a vengeance, man.
Me too. Usually I get like 1 week of really cold weather and then it's like -3 at night, but not this year. It's like -18.
It went down to like -7 and 8 here at times, which is super rare. But it's supposed to be a record low today of freezing. And I'm like, wow, what's that all about? And there was over this past New Year, we're not talking about last year, there's been several records broken.
Well, down in Alabama, it looked like Cleveland or something for a couple of days.
You're right. My buddy, I think it was in Louisiana, and he's standing there by his lemon tree, and it's like this much snow, and I'm like, what the hell? But it really, what happened here was they were supposed to get a big one about 3 or 4 days ago, a big snow dump. It never happened. It kind of veered off and went out into the Pacific from the Arctic. It didn't come down here. And then it dumped onto Japan. And then my buddy, the day before that happened in Japan, my buddy went on a plane to Japan, hey? And the girl, it was really freaking weird, was this girl was supposed to give him a ride to the ferry to go to the airport in Vancouver, and she wouldn't do it. She had a bad feeling about snow. And it didn't even snow here. And she's kind of like, she gets feelings about stuff, and she's actually fairly accurate. And sure enough, he was making fun of oh yeah, you should see the planes have snow plows on them and like that. He's just, he's a pretty funny guy, right? So anyway, never laugh at Mother Nature, because he got his ass kicked in Japan because they wouldn't even land the airplane there because of so much snow, eh? But who could predict something like that? It picked up the snow in the Sea of Japan, and then it dumped it right on Hokkaido Island. I mean, the whole place was just,
Well, even the UK, they're getting snow and stuff places where they don't usually get it this year. So
yeah, it's -10 in Nanaimo this morning, growing on Vancouver Island. So
wow.
That's pretty good. That's pretty cold.
That's up north.
Yeah. And it's February. Okay. Wild Edible says it was warmer winter than the last 2 here. I thought we were going to get 40 below this winter. We have been, got to remove my magnifier, and have been close enough. Yeah. Mother Earth Garden Club. Welcome. Cheers. The weather pattern, I'm glad we did get winter at the end, because I have this giant Christmas tree out front.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see snow on all the beautiful, all the lights and ornaments, and it didn't happen. I'm like, crap. So at the end of, middle of February, I guess, it's 11. Well, not quite. So the first week of February, we got snow. So, but we always get a little tiny bit in February. We usually don't get this dump. But the thing about it, it's always slushy. And well, it came down and then it froze, and you can't move.
Wednesday here, I'm on the Michigan-Ohio state line in Ontario, and it could be rain to the south, snow to Michigan, and I'm in the middle. So it could be a mixed bag.
I notice you have a long growing season, though.
Yeah, I will start peppers in March probably because I go to like American Thanksgiving with peppers and tomatoes in the greenhouse.
Nice.
Last year was the first year I had tomatoes out the end of April outside. But I don't think that's going to happen this year.
You do good food production. If there's nothing on the shelf, you're going to be the most important guy in your local area. Or if you were to travel into the city with your produce, you'll be mobbed.
Well, I started an aquarium and I put lettuce seeds in. I got about 400 of them, so I got them in pots and stuff. So I got a firewood stand, so I'll sell live lettuce at the road. No.
Yeah, tomatoes are really interesting. You can put a 500 in a cup and take them all apart and plant them all.
Yeah.
It's really strange. They take to a transplant really well. And as long as you don't tear them or break them or anything, that well,
my area was the tomato capital of Canada when we had the Heinz plant here.
Nice.
But now it's all greenhouses. There's like 4,000 acres of greenhouses.
What are they growing in them greenhouses, Dave?
Peppers, cucumbers, salmon.
Oh, there you go. Cucumbers, tomatoes, and salmon. I'm right at home.
But they can switch it over pretty quick. Like, if there was no lettuce coming in, they could switch it over real quick. Less heat than peppers in the wintertime.
I was watching this really smart guy. He's an orthomolecular scientist. And he's on YouTube, and I put it in info for Earthling on my playlist, and he's talking about how vegetables that were rated as carcinogenic aren't carcinogenic, but if you spray them with all the different environmental sprays, they are, right? And I'm like, well, that makes a lot of freaking sense. And he's talking about he's totally debunking these other people that are going, oh yeah, cauliflower is carcinogenic. No, the only reason it is because someone sprayed some crap on it. In greenhouses, you really got to watch environmental.
Yeah, I know. Like these big commercial greenhouses, they start these cucumbers and they're in grow bags. And 3 weeks from the time they plant it, and it's like 2 weeks they're picking cucumbers.
No, that's a GMO, dude.
Yeah, I know. They're just crazy. They all grow in these trays. It's nuts what they do. It's all automated now.
Yeah, that's all great and all. If you don't have food, I mean, that's some food, right?
Like they grow strawberries in the greenhouse here too.
Yeah, they do here too, but they have big problems with fungus, mold.
Yeah.
And so they put these big fans in. The greenhouses here, they don't really let you come in with a camera. They don't want people videotaping, or if you go to an eco village where they're growing all their food, no camera. But here it's quite prevalent. There'll be a sign, no cameras, no cell phone cameras, or something like that. Because there's some tomatoes that grow here, like different kinds. I'd love to videotape, but I'm bloody well not allowed. Hey, and it's huge. It's right in this growing belt on Old Saanich Road. And it's a great place because the sun hits first thing in the morning and it's there all day. There's no interruptions from mountains or trees or anything.
Yeah.
But they do substitute their sunlight with grow lights. But they changed over from those high pressure sodiums and metal halides. All that doesn't happen anymore. Now there's these string LEDs.
Yeah, at night the sky grows purple and pink. There's one township you have to put covers over the greenhouses when they got the lights on.
Really?
And you can see it from like Pelee Island, which is 15 miles out in Lake Erie when you're over there.
That makes sense. Keep people awake. Their circadian rhythm would be broken.
The birds, for a while before they passed that law, the birds didn't know what to do. In the middle of the night, they're chirping like it was 6 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. They wouldn't know what to do.
Well, when I was a kid, you could see the lights from Detroit and the lights from Cleveland. But now,
Cool.
like, there's so much light from here that you can't even see the stars at night.
Oh, that's strange, eh? That makes sense, though. I keep an LED going for a few plants that I don't want to die off. And now soon I'll be starting a couple of trays of tomatoes or whatever.
I had one LED go. I bought it at Costco about 10 years ago. So I got 10 years out of it before something went on it.
Oh, yeah. It's good to have that jump ahead of time with natural light. I use a lot of natural light here. And then I put a mirror behind them just to give them that extra boost, hey? It's not
use
huge.
A sheet of Mylar reflects good. Like an emergency blanket, just tack it up.
Yeah. Lewis is saying puff, puff, pass. And KP is here. And greetings from Louisiana. How was your snow this year, KB?
Cajun country.
And Mother Earth Garden Club. Welcome all the way from Minnesota. Oh, yeah. It's great. Hey, sitting with pals on YouTube. That's just awesome.
Yeah, when I retired, I was out doing stuff. But then during the cough, I just kind of away from the crowds with more stuff going around. So,
yeah, it's there's different people here that get sick. It's really strange. It's ones that were coming in from India last month. They were all sick coming off the plane. And then they were talking about it in the community going, and I'm like, I'm masking up and I'm running the other way, right?
Well, I stay away from people like my brother. Oh, I just got back from the Dominican. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Stay home for a couple of weeks. Let's see what develops. This lady had to bring a bunch of letters that I have to mail out, and so she's like, I'm sick. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to see you. She goes, I'll leave the letters out in the bag. They were out there for like 2 days before I even brought them in. It was freezing. I thought, well, if there's anything on it,
that'll kill them off.
Kill it. That was going around on YouTube about the cough there. That you, if you get mail or whatever, a parcel, just pop it in the freezer over.
Yeah.
Hey, careful, never hurt nobody. Stupid hurts, right? Why be stupid if you're not stupid, right?
Well, I worked in the hotel casino industry, and I got exposed to everything to man when I was working. So now,
good, it's herd immunity. Good.
Well, and I was a plumber, so I got exposed to everything.
Did you get sick a lot, or did you have a good immunity?
Had a good immunity, but when I did get sick, it was like took a while.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't get sick as much. Because being a plumber, you're exposed to a lot of pathogens, dude.
Well, you're the guy in the urinals and the toilets. So.
That's the number one place to catch something. Hey, it's a gas station, a washroom, or in the mall, or at the pub. Yeah. That's where you're going to catch something because it's aerosol when you have a piss. It all goes in the air. That's why when you go in the bathroom, it smells like Pete. Well, you're smelling aerosol.
It looks like that Rolling Stones cover.
Yeah.
For the toilet,
Mother Earth says she just stays home and plays with the cats and dogs. If there's lots of people with the flu. Smart. A lot of people don't understand. They go, you ask the person, do you wash your hands after you go to the bathroom? And they're like, oh, yeah. How about before? Oh, I never thought of that. Oh, you got something growing down there. You'll think real quick. Yeah. Mike the Caveman says hello. Yep. But careful when you're going out. It's no flu season just massively hit here about a month ago. And it is subsiding now, though. But I had to go out and about, and I'm watching people coughing snot balls, man. And I'm like, what the hell? And that was at the hospital, and they let them people in the hospital. And then they changed it. They changed the rules, so you had to wear a mask. And the guy pulls the mask down. puts a mask on. I'm like, oh my God, real brainiac, right?
Well, my Legion branch had like a Super Bowl Sunday dart tournament, but there's like 150 people there. I'll stay away.
Oh, Mother Earth's talking about she grows cat grass for her cat. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I
They
did
need
too.
that.
I've got some in the greenhouse, and my cat comes out and it keeps her out of my flower beds.
Yeah,
She's got her own garden.
Yeah, a good cat or two around it makes a balance for the little mice that come out from where Mama had them or whatever. They clean them up, And there's a cat right behind you there.
Yep, that's the little one. He was about 4 months old. We found him astray. He was abandoned, so.
And he can climb. He just went out the window there, dude.
Yeah, no, he went up to the window. So
up to the window.
Go in and do the old.
Oh, he's in behind it or something. The blind.
Yeah, there's a curtain.
Yeah, he's moving around. They're very cool. He's all white. That was very cool.
Yeah, the dog actually found him out back. So and then my son brought him home. So.
Jeez, nice find. He's lucky cat.
Yep, he is.
Yeah. Creative redundancy there. He says that his friend had influenza a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
If your immunity's down, that shit'll knock you down for sure. Influenza. The old guy across the street about 3 years ago, he ended up getting the cough jab. And geez, a couple hours later down at the auto parts store, he collapsed, right? He just got out of the hospital now. He's in there for like months on end. Yeah. He got real bloody lucky, boy. And hello, good to see you, Dave. Shawnee Grow says.
Hi, Shawnee. So I consult the book of medical herbs.
Oh, nice. Who put that out?
DK Books. It's I got it for Christmas.
Wow.
So now I have a knowledge because you can look up stuff on the computer about what happens if the internet's down.
Exactly. I have a good vast library myself. Smart book to have, man. Very smart, especially if you got to look after.
A lot of the stuff is local, but there's some stuff that's kind of exotic.
Very nice.
Ginkgo tree. My dad's had some in his front yard here.
They actually still grow there?
Yeah, they will grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like a plant from the dinosaurs.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, and they're actually very nutritious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fruit stinks. My dad had one right too close to the house, and it stunk.
I was surprised that you told me that they grow there because they grow here, and nobody knows what to do with them. All these nuts fall off.
Yeah.
And while they have there's a yellow one that's the male, and they just grow up and give you the flower show. And then the other one there, the first time I encountered Ginkgo biloba was like a million years ago. And I went to this place called the Rebar. And I'm like, the Rebar? And it was a juice drink place. And they gave me the rocket scientist. And it had all this information on the chart. It said Ginkgo biloba. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take that one. And every time I go there, the lady's like, okay, here's your, 2 minutes after, here's my juice drink with the ginkgo in it.
And there's one for you, Howie.
What's that?
Lemons.
Oh, wow. You know what? Virginia citrus growers there, he's got lemons that grow in Ukraine and Crimea and stuff. And I went to there, and lemons can grow where you are too, Dave. You just got to get the right citrus. One that can take like 20 below. They are there. And there's really ugly looking ones that are all looks like a brain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have those Osage oranges that are native to more Texas.
Wow.
They were planted here for cattle, for fences, because they grow so tight. Well, they're a big thing like that. It's like a brain, but they're native to more Texas.
Can you use it in any manner?
I don't know. They planted them here a long time ago for fences. Same with honey locusts. They used to plant them in hedgerows because they grew so tight with the thorns on them. But the wood is really hard. That Osage orange, it grows here. It makes a good bow.
I'm gonna look that up because I've never heard of it, and it reminds me of the citrus from the Virginia fruit growers there. That guy has so
Yeah,
many different kinds of citrus, and he talks about, oh, this one has a really good time in 20 below, or this one in
yeah.
your zone 4 or whatever. I'm like, really, hey? And some of them I have, hey, like the yuzu and calamondin and stuff. But he has like a huge array, and he makes his own new strains. And I'm like,
There's
dude,
another one I got, the passion flower.
oh yeah, the flower of Christ.
I put one in my. I got it in my greenhouse so it overwinters better in a
Do
pot.
you get fruit, Dave, in the
Oh
greenhouse
yeah,
from
I
that?
have some pictures on some of my old videos of it when it was
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah,
greenhouse
yeah.
in the fall.
Because we get that here. And one guy down the road here, this Mitchell's farm, they got it growing along this along this chain link fence, and that thing is loaded every year. And I'm like, why? Well, right there in that belt, if
Yeah,
it snows, it's so warm there. See, it doesn't really die back all the way, and but it's tough to get that microclimate.
I have prickly pear cactus too. I'm
I
in the
noticed that.
northern
I was
area.
impressed.
Yeah,
That was impressive. The fruit, you were picking the actual fruit.
yeah, that was right in front of my house on the south side on a gravel hill. It's
Yeah,
been there for like 60, 70 years.
I was impressed. I thought, wow, what a carpet. Like I can find that if I go over on the San Juan Islands or up towards the Okanagan Valley. But
Yeah,
down here on southern Victoria, it has to be planted like I've planted Opuntia New Palais and for eating the pads. They do die back once in a while, but they'll come right back. They'll come right back.
yeah, yeah. No, they do okay here. They don't get as big.
Yeah.
I did harvest the flowers and dried them. I put them in tea and stuff, but
Yeah, the fruit tastes like blueberry watermelon
yeah,
to
it's
me.
nice. It's a nice flavor. I dehydrate it, put it in tea. It's nice.
The first time I seen it was in the Okanagan many like a million years ago, and you could see there was an old farmstead there, and they were long gone, but the buildings there and whatnot, and all the fruit trees. So you
Yeah,
could see where the little brown bears, little cinnamon bears, were walking in through because they use the same spot every time they
yeah,
go back and forth and feed on all this old orchard that just grew wild. It was a hobby of mine to visit old places and pick from like old heritage varieties. And I'm sitting there under the pear tree. And I notice the freaking pear tree next to me is moving. And I'm like, oh
yeah.
shit. And there's a little tiny, tiny little bear. Ooh, hello. So I used
Well,
the same paw print. You can see where they paw print in through the cactus. I guess they get it in their little paws like anybody else.
there are pears around here known as Jesuit pears because in the 1600s, when the French settled Detroit, Jesuit missionaries put them as markers along the Detroit River and Lake Erie, and there's still a couple left. They were brought
Neat.
from France.
Did you ever eat them?
There was a house built on one lot. I knew where there was one, and I was trying to get some grafts off it and stuff. But that's it goes back to like the 1600s here in the Great Lakes.
If it was successful then, it would be successful now. It's very
Yeah,
important to plant what's already growing in your locale because you know that works. That there's no
yeah.
mistake, right?
There's still a couple along the Detroit River on private land.
Be nice to see them. I go out of my way and I go to old logging camps where they had people that lived at the logging camp, and most people plant something, right?
Yeah,
And in British Columbia, here, all up and down the island, there's old villages and old logging camps, and it's interesting to see so much fruit on trees. It's unbelievable. Nobody tends to them,
yeah.
and they're loaded. I'm like, why? Why create a job for yourself for the rest of your life looking after an apple tree?
Well, I made a mistake when I was young. I got some cherry trees and apple trees and put them out back, and then they grew, and I never trimmed them, and they just got like way out of control. So,
it's neat to see the canopy when it gets out of control like that. Like I
Yeah,
love to see when it's super hot out in August, like you go out about that
yeah,
pavement there and you're cooking, you're uncomfortable in 5 minutes. You just run right underneath the canopy. It's like, oh,
yeah. Well, I had a 30-year-old cherry tree. It was starting to split on me and stuff, so I had to take it down. So
yeah. A lot of times you can put just drill a hole and pop in with some rooting
yeah,
hormone right in there and have
yeah,
something growing out of the stump. I did that here. It died on me.
yeah.
I think you have to mist it or something like that. But I've
And
seen a
maybe,
neighbor do it, and she was quite successful at it. And she had like really nice cherries and
yeah,
plums, and because they're pits, they all can grow out of the same stump. They're just
yeah.
usually
I had some really
raw.
nice cherries, but man, you needed to get up in the tree like 40 feet. All the
Yeah,
birds would
after
get the low
50
ones.
feet, you're not going to survive. You know that.
Yeah,
Eh? 40, you might make it. Yeah, there's a few broken bones. But if you're
yeah,
falling from 50 feet, I
yeah,
climbed a lot of trees in my day, I'll tell you. After 50 feet, you're extra careful.
yeah.
Good
I
morning,
don't
Grant.
bounce like I used to.
No, I don't bounce at all. I did fall down a ladder one time from the very top. And I forget how tall the ladder was. But for some reason, I was using the hedge trimmer. It was back in the day before the telescopic lens or telescopic
Yeah,
pole came along. And I was up in there, but for some reason, my feet came off the rung. Like I was just like barely on there, and then it's too
yeah.
late when you're going like this. I threw the hedger, but there was still a long ways down. But luckily, the soil where I was soft, but I went in about 3 inches.
Wow.
The ankles and the boot went in 3 inches into the soil. But I was never actually the same after that.
No, yeah,
I didn't care for ladders much after that. I'd rather my harness and spurs and lanyard and just go. You're not depending on on a rung on a ladder. If you have a harness and you've got your lanyard around the tree, you're not going anywhere.
well, I spent a lot of years in articulating booms and lifts going high in the air. So I got to get an articulating boom on my property so I can trim some limbs up like 20 feet in the air. So
Yeah, get an pole extension.
no, I'm gonna rent a boom that you can put down and it goes up with a bucket.
Yeah. I've
You know,
seen them often. I
I
think I
can
used
tow it
them
behind my
one time.
tractor. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just rent one for a day.
You do a lot with your tractor. It's impressive, man.
Well, once you got one, and doing it the old way, I can plant potatoes in 10 minutes with the tractor. Doing it with a shovel,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. The tractor made short work. I watched you this year in 2024, what you did with it. And I mean, you improved and upped your production and you improved your soil with it. And I thought, well, Jesus, isn't this what it's all about?
yeah.
And you made
Well,
it easy. You made it easy.
for 5 gallons of diesel fuel, it made my life easier for the whole season.
What the hell's wrong with that? I'll take it. But I have several different friends here in the municipality here that all use tractors, and some
Yeah.
organic farmers, like an old Cub. He spent 5 Gs a couple of years ago redoing the
Yeah.
Cub.
Well,
And
I
he has,
didn't want my uncle. He farmed with a Cub.
yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
And he has a flamethrower with 4 or 5 flamethrowers on it, and it comes out like this, and it goes in between his row. And then he has this really nice shallow till that he does, because he only used leaves and biochar and wood ash for fertilizer.
Yeah.
And the town here delivers like big truckloads of leaves, and he just lets them sit there and turn to mud, like black soil.
Yeah.
And then he uses his Cub to spread it around in his little
Yeah.
row, and then the shallow till and the torch. That's or
Yeah.
flamethrower. It actually looks pretty funny, and he's rigged this all up. and that's all he does. And then he makes biochar. And he puts the leaf compost onto his field. He's never done anything else. And then a couple of years ago, a silicone leak from one of the big trucks. There's always a development here now, hey? And I guess it was sitting there, and all the silicone from the line went out from the truck, and it went out. You could see the sheen on about 2 acres, and the guy was just crying, man. He was just like, how could they do this? But guess what? Insurance compensated him for that 2 fields for 5 years. Because it would take 5 years to get back to normal. He never grew anything there again. He had them clean it all up, and because he's got a lot of acres, which is rare here. If you've got a lot of acres and you're super rich here, it's easy $1 million an acre here. Easy.
Well, on my road, what used to cost $80,000, now a 2.5 acre lot, it goes for like $600,000. So
same here.
Yeah.
This house cost $76,000. Now it's up in the millions.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Same
with me. When I bought my place, 2.5 acres was faded off.
Yeah. I've got to scoot for a second there, Mr. Knight. Do you think you could hold this?
Yeah, I'll hold the fort. Let's see. I'll look at the chat here again. Yeah, leaves are pretty useful for everything, CR. I use a lot of them. But you got to watch. You don't want any black walnut or red cedars in your compost. Maple leaves are good. I chop them up. What I used to do is even take a 5-gallon bucket and I just take a weed whacker, or even I had a barrel, put leaves in there with a weed whacker to chop them up when I used to do it smaller. But now I got a stock chopper on the tractor, so I can make a foot of leaves into an inch of leaves. Oh, I was back. Back in town.
Yeah. It's not downtown.
Yeah.
That sure changed downtown here. Like there'd be 1,000 people homeless. They're not there no more. They're gone.
Well, the Mexicans are back here because we got a lot of Mexican farm workers that come up legally to work in the greenhouses. So they're all walking around. They all got the same coats on and backpacks coming to town. They're nice people. Mm-hmm. Same ones come back every year.
Yep. They have work,
but they come here legally. They pay taxes. They got health care. So that's not so bad.
Very cool. Very cool. There's some people here from Vancouver Island on the channel. It's pretty cool to see them. Yeah. It's a small niche community, the gardening community on YouTube. It's not part of the 1.2 billion other YouTubers. It's very small, very small. I like it like that.
And especially when you get into Pathway Soil Bank and making soil, then it narrows it down even more.
Very much so. That's why I put the hashtag, but there's people that hijack that hashtag. Even.
Oh, yeah, already?
Oh, God, yeah. I seen an oil company. You punch in hashtag Pathway Soil Bank, it goes to an oil company.
We're greening the environment, dumping grass on this wasteland.
Yeah. It's making soil is the greatest thing that anybody could ever do for this planet. If we look after soil and make new soil instead of destroying the place, it'd be a pretty nice place to live. But soil is really depleted here. Like I see Shawnee made a video one time of the soil around her there in Minnesota. That's beautiful looking soil, man. Could you imagine if you found something like that around here? It has to be like well looked after land, or it just was everything scraped off in development. There's no soil there to grow food.
Some of mine was marsh and it was scraped off to put in the front, but I still have about 18 inches of marsh soil, and you can see how it was a marsh for 6,000 years. When you dig it with the backhoe, you can see all the layers.
Yeah, interesting. That's interesting. I dug a well in my local area here, and as I dug down, it went through these different, and it was an old property that hadn't been skimmied off. And as it went down, it went just after the 7 foot level, water started gushing in. There's an underground
Yeah.
stream. And
Yeah.
I start filling up, and I hopped out of the hole, and I start filling it and filling it. And so I know that it'd be easy to get water here. And then I found water that surfaced at different from underneath the ground, deep wells, deep springs, and that's going to be key to healthy soil, is using healthy water. Like the stuff from the rain is great, but it's got a lot of shit in there. So if you can get some water. I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to eating and growing my food, and making my soil too. Is I don't make soil and use it right away unless I had to. I generally let it sit for like 5-10 years.
Yeah,
and microbes make everything inert. I can say that. I think I can say that.
Well, I have bags of potting soil I'm using now, and it's like 4 or 5 years old. I've had it in cat. Animal feed bags wrapped up. There's no weed seeds in it when you use it.
Nice. That's really nice. I don't weed a whole lot here. I just add soil. Like if I'm growing some beets, I just add soil around the beets or the garlic, and it kind of just decomposes any weeds and stuff. So I really like that approach, and then it gives it a nutrient shot. And I don't have to grow a lot of food. I imagine if a farmer had to do that, he'd go broke. He'd go broke. It wouldn't matter how many foreigners you hired. But that's just my choice, and it works well for me here.
Well, someday when I go to my local landfill a mile away, I'll film all the big piles of steaming compost they got there. Everybody brings their waste there, they chop it up, and they let it sit for 2 years, and they turn it with great big equipment. And it's just steaming.
Sweet. Yeah, very sweet. I've seen some similar things here. They got a place called McNuts. I know.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's Tough Turf, and they make that too, hey? Giant piles, and you see that they've got the excavator going like this. And I mean, the steam, it's almost camouflaged like fog coming off there. And you got to wonder, like, is that affected your breathing in there? And the guy sits there all day long. This shit keeps coming in.
Yeah.
But then now he doesn't get as much because the city, the CRD here, they make it where you got to bring it to this one other area, or they have the green can.
Yeah.
See, you're not allowed to do that for some kind of, whatever gas is coming off, whatever. I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere. You think there's no one even living here for like a kilometer from this, but still they put their rules on the guy, really harsh too. Hey, because he was making money on that black soil. Black soil is worth a fortune. Especially if you got a bagging machine and lots of it, you can make a good dollar with a pallet, and you got your semi-trailer in no time at all. That's how people are making money here. Like,
I had a lot of wood chips. I cut a lot of apple wood and stuff the last few years, and I had, I don't know, 2 cubic yards of apple chips just from the chainsaw. So I put that in the compost and that. So,
yeah, Mandy says something interesting here. McNutt soil in Nanaimo has a terrible reputation, bad soil. And that's be the same outfit here. And then Cinnabar Farms has nice soil. Most farms do. They don't haul anything away. They throw it out on the ground in a big pile, and they generally have a brick here and a brick wall there, and they come in with their tractor like Dave Knight, pick it up when they need it. That's how they do it here. And I was kind of surprised because when I first seen it years ago, a dead animal went right in there. The guy's like, oh, yeah, that's the best. I'm like, it's a dead deer off the road. He's like, oh, yeah. And this guy grew like you wouldn't believe. He grew kiwi and lots of acres. And he grew acres and acres of strawberries, blueberries, apples. And he had that, just like Pathway Soil Bank, he made all these little outlets. Like, you have your pallets. It's the same idea. He had like cement bricks. and he just kept loading them up. And then by the time it decomposed, he was back at the first one, emptying it onto his food. Like he had it down to a fine art. And the guy, it was kind of really famous around here for the amount of food he grew. But then his he had some very serious back replacement things going on in his back because he worked so freaking hard as a farmer, right? He wore out his lower back, and he never recovered once they did what they did, whatever they did to him. He just didn't. He was never the same. I'd go over and get free flats of strawberries. The entire truck, the entire truck was nothing but strawberries. He couldn't get out to. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't even sell them. He couldn't even pick them up, and he just became miserable. And then we just got all these free strawberries and he sold the place for $8 million. And he's like, "Yep, I'm going to a warmer climate." And he went to Arizona, where he figured it's going to be better for him. And I wished him well. He always took care of me with meat from the farm because he was allowed to ding the deer that would come in and eat the strawberries and stuff. He would be able to thin them out, and he either gave them to the natives or to me. So I was eating good for a long time, man. It was delicious. Good guy. I miss him terribly. I was amazed at the amounts that he could produce on his land just from making that soil. Hey, very, very impressive to see, because you know what's there. You know what's in it. You know you put it there. It's like all the rage right now is bananas going into the soil, and you see it on different YouTube channels over in Africa. And they're using banana peels and bananas to make soil.
Yeah,
and I've been putting bananas from the farmers market in my soil for over 15 years. So I know that soil's got a massive vitamin B shot in there. It makes a difference if you have nutrients. If it doesn't have nutrients, it's not going to do well for you.
My cousin's a dairy farmer, and I used to get like 2-year-old compost manure, but since the glyphosate thing, I haven't been getting any. So
smart. That shit doesn't go away. It's
staying away from it. I did that 1 year, and then I seen the glyphosate thing, and I said, nah.
Yeah, I was exposed. I worked 3 years on a blueberry farm, and I ended up with non-Hodgkinson's, and I had to drain my lymph, drain it every day. I had a vibrator on the side of my neck going, So I did that for like a long time and took care of using lemons. I had a lot of lemons to break things down. So I still have that, but I manage it so well that it's not an issue. But I see other people getting a lot of money for that. A big payout of mass, payout. And interesting that you were smart to get rid of that. Bananas are great. Yeah, bananas are anything that's dense like that. Even tomatoes can give a lot of nutrients to the ground. But anything kitchen waste, if you can get someone to bring you kitchen waste, and it's difficult to train them because they're all spraying Lysol or they're eating, like you said, there's something with glyphosate on it and glyphosate. You don't want. It's tough to have that control when I'm making soil here with my Pathway soil bank. It's really tough. So I use like seaweeds, lawn clippings from people that don't use Roundup. And then they made it illegal here to have Roundup in this municipality. So you know what the boneheads here did when they couldn't have their Roundup? They just went to the next municipality and bought it.
Yeah.
Some people will never learn. They won't, they can't, they don't want to.
In the 60s, my uncle used a sprayer with gasoline in it. That's how he got rid of the weeds.
Oh my God.
Old gasoline, put it in a sprayer. That'll work.
They still do that with diesel in some countries in South America. Brazil uses it heavily in Belize. They put diesel on the ground. and the bugs don't live with diesel
When I
on.
was a kid, my uncle changed his oil and he buried it in the driveway. Weeds still grow there, and that was back in the 50s and 60s. He used to put all his oil in the driveway, spread it. But weeds still grow there.
You know what? The biggest, most famous river in British Columbia was the Quincy River. Okay, they had put a big hatchery on it. But you know what they used to do? They used to have an oil truck spray the entire length of the river on the road. And this shit just, after they'd spray it, nobody had a clue. Now you'd be lucky to catch a fish there. You got to catch a hatchery one. There's no
Yeah.
wildlife. But guess what? They're still spraying that diesel along that river.
Oh.
I saw it last year. I just went, Jesus, nothing changes here. They're still doing it. Yeah. And it's a provincial campground. To make it worse, Dave, it's a provincial government campground.
Crazy.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Well, outside Sarnia, Ontario, Petrolia, that's where they first had oil in the 1880s in Canada, and they had an uncontrollable gusher, and it went down ravines and everything because they didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
But the environment's come back. There's trees and everything grew through all this thick tar that went out everywhere.
Right. So anything out of the ordinary you're growing this year, Dave?
More peanuts.
More.
A lot more potatoes, just because I got the room and it's easy in a straight line, A lot more lettuce.
Yeah.
Because of all the cold weather down south and everything going on, you don't know what the price will be. $8 a head. Who knows?
Yeah. $8 just to put a little bit of salad on your plate because I eat a lot of salad.
Walk outside and pick all I want.
Yeah, I just picked up some baby organic spinach. It wasn't cheap. It was $9 for a little container like that, and I just went, okay. It says it's it's all organic and whatnot. And you have to trust it, and it's got a certification on it. Yeah. But I was at a big store, here, and just a little while ago, and the guy was putting the organic tag on the celery as he's taking it out of the box.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what certification do you have there? I said. He's like, we're just doing this. I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing this, not buying it.
Well, and all these big industrial farms too, like romaine lettuce and celery and all that, they recycle the water. So, they could soak it up. It's not like cutting it out of your own yard.
Yeah. Celery, you got to watch celery what happens, it's a water vegetable, so it sucks up a lot of freaking water. So anything, like most toxins are water soluble. So, you're sucking up a lot of the fertilizer, and that's a problem. That's a big problem, because then a government agency comes along and goes, oh, that celery is contaminated. And well, of course it's contaminated because you allowed it. Your rules allowed it. You to covet just the water going into a freaking celery head.
Yeah.
It's important to remember the purest water will come from underground still. I mean, it can be thousands of years old. So that's what you want, a deep spring water to water your vegetables, or you get things growing on you or fall apart on you, or it's a real minefield and something to think about. It's the town water is freaking disgusting. I find I could smell it when I turn the tap on here. Especially in August or July and August, they heavily put the chlorine and fluoride in.
Well, that's why I use my spring water.
You're smart. There's guys here that leave the community, and there's this spring out by the Malahat, and they load up all their bottles. And there's like little cups hanging there, and you can take a shot. Yeah. That shit is so cold, man. It almost wants to shatter your teeth, eh? It's like, oh, easy.
Well, I'm at the bottom of a gravel hill, so it naturally seeps out of the side of the hill 365 days a year. So.
Yeah. Any recall of water or food is always like an E. coli type situation.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, that's a really big thing, because then, see here, to get the food to a food bank, they divert it from the landfill. I'm not kidding here. This is for real. So anything that was supposed to go there to be dumped, it's super questionable.
the greenhouses here, if they got extra peppers or whatever, it goes to a place up on the hill and they distribute it to the different agencies. But it's the stuff they couldn't sell or was going to the dump. They donate.
Yeah, that's okay. Stuff that's been, through the ringer and everybody else, and through all this, and I just went, okay, what's going on here? So $1 billion worth of unsold food goes to be distributed for the poor. Okay, there should be something okay with that. So, but some of the foods that I seen the poor get is very questionable. And if there's just a small bit of micromanagement going on, where just before the food starts looking like that, how about giving it out to people?
Yeah, okay. It's like Charles Dickens' friend.
Waiting for it to be degraded on that gradient is that's messed up, because that's when you're dealing with some, like you're going to have old people that can't take stuff like that, or diarrhea or something from that, and but it's illegal here to throw a banana peel in the garbage. Yeah, they'll tag you, they'll give you a warning. Hey, they'll put an orange tag or yellow tag on. And they're real iffy here on their recycling programs. I don't get involved because I've got nothing to throw away, because everything goes into recycling. And they showed up with their garbage can, their green can, and I made the lady, I said, don't leave that garbage can here. That's not for me. And she goes, oh yeah, every household gets one. I said, this one doesn't. I knew right away, anything they're bringing up, you're going to be paying for it. So it took a long time. It took like a couple of months to get them to take that off the taxes and say, look, here's your garbage can that I sent it back, because they wanted the can. And I'm like, no, it didn't. It never arrived. And then, you know what? They threatened me with, oh, we're going to be checking your garbage. And I said, look, buddy. I said, you can check it all you want, because I don't have any garbage. Everything goes into recycling. I said, recyclable blue box, and then it goes into my food forest. He's like, what's a food forest? And I'm like, well, it's where biomass goes and stays, and this rich black soil's made. Nothing up here. Nothing. I even went to see the city councilor about it. Nothing up here. You know what she said? Rats are going to show up. I'm like, okay, so what's this municipality doing now about a rat problem? Nothing. Oh, okay. So the local owl here takes care of anything that shows up like that. Yeah. All she had was the plague in her brain, going rats, plague, rats. It was crazy to see. I was with these other academics, and they're looking at her going, she's lost it. She totally lost. She didn't want nothing to do with it. Wouldn't mention it in a meeting. And I wasn't about to sit there till 12 o'clock at night to mention it in a meeting to make freaking soil. I mean, I just copied what the Mayans did, really, and what my grandfather did. My grandfather just made everything in a layer. He just threw it out back in the compost like yours. Like he had a little square area. You kept it all there. Then he had another one and another one. And he never failed. He put his fish there, like we did fishing every bloody day. Yeah. Hunting, same thing. Everything went in there. And if it was bones and fish, it was left for a couple of years. And I'll tell you, he had the biggest freaking beefsteak tomatoes you ever seen.
Oh yeah. Bone meal. That's what people put in for deficiency. Bone meal, which is.
Yeah. He was first out of the gate with his peppers and tomatoes, and he always had them last of everybody else. And then when he'd catch too many fish, I was just a little kid, and he'd send me along his street giving away all these salmon to people. Yeah, we have too many. But you're allowed to keep taking your legal amount. And one time it was 10, then it went down to 4. Now you might get 1, I think. That'd be a hatchery one, right? It's really downgraded. One time you could go in a creek here, pitchfork a bunch of old dying salmon, throw them in your garden. Well, now there are creeks there, but there's no old dying salmon.
Yeah.
Silly, right? I never did that, but I seen people do it. And
it's a walleye in front of my house. We get 6 of them a day.
Oh, nice. Those are good eating.
So in the spring, we get lots of them.
Nice and crispy with some flour and pepper.
Yep.
Oh, Oh yeah, walleye. I caught a lot of them, and pike too, and lake trout. But I went to Alberta once, and I was in northern Alberta. Man, the fishing was phenomenal. Like every pond had it was just loaded, loaded. Yeah. Did you get any of those yellow perch that you were after?
No, we were out on the ice, me and my brother-in-law. So we were out there. We came back the one day and we saw a couple of bald eagles, and there was this farm, and they had bales of straw on top of something. And what it was is before it got cold, they threw straw and carrots. They hadn't dug in this marshland, and they were out there digging carrots, and it was like minus 20 at night. So they put all the straw in there. And these eagles were waiting for all the critters to come out of the straw. It was kind of neat.
Awesome. Good stuff. There was a bunch of turkey vultures here, and a friend of mine from the community came over and he goes, "Do you see what's out back of your place?" And I'm like, "No." Look way out back, and all these circling turkey vultures. I'm like, well, I had never seen that. So we walked down to the shore. Here's this big dead halibut. And that's what they were. And I'm like, you lucky bastards. It's only $20 a pound. Halibut's very coveted here. Hi, Simran. Good to see you. Yeah. But the availability of fishing and foraging here is really good. Even if you didn't have a garden and you just had some knowledge here. And that's pretty much like that anywhere in Canada. Maybe not the long range that we have here, but in the rest of Canada, a lot of people have skills that are comparable to growing or raising animals. Like they do a lot of hunting. But some things might not go so well in the future. So you should have some new skills.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Especially right here where I live.
Well, the thing is, if you're growing up looking after yourself, you know what to do already anyway.
Well, I can look out my window and I can see Michigan and Ohio, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, filled with water. You're right, Mother Earth. Water in the greenhouse it will keep the greenhouse warmer, like a 50-gallon drum of water. That's for sure. Oh yeah. It takes a long time for that to freeze. It would take a long time.
I have that. I have a 55-gallon black drum, and then it doesn't grow algae too.
It doesn't?
No. If you have black, the light doesn't penetrate, and the water is not scuzzy on the inside.
Of course.
I wish I could get an IBC tote for the summertime that was black. Then I wouldn't have the scuzz in it.
Put it in the universe. You'll find it. You're a scrounger like the rest of us.
I'll find something
together. Yeah. A black toad. I don't think I've ever seen one around here.
No, there's lots of white IBC.
A white toad for the blueberries and they're only like short toads, and you put a bunch of the little white blueberry containers in there because white, it doesn't heat up, and green is quite well too. Green, but black toad, you don't see that too often.
Well, the black barrels are more common. This one had fertilizers for the greenhouse in it, so harm the plants.
Some coffee cans are used as planters and have holes. So if I plant the plants, I use the empty one to fill up with water so it drains slower around a bigger plant. Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah. I hand water if I have to water something, but I plant with the season. I'm a big fan of using what's in my environment. Like if it's a cool weather crop season, I'm on that, planting succession crops every 10, 12, 14 days during the cool season. And then if it's a hot weather crop, I'm all ready to plant a few. But my favorite all-time thing to do is direct sow. That's fine art in itself, because if you'll do trial and error. And reaching into that soil and feeling that warmth, then it's time to direct sow any hot weather crop like watermelon or squash. By May 24th weekend, anywhere in Canada, you should be able to direct sow. Most likely, and that's my favorite thing to do for hot weather crops.
I direct sowed some kale in my greenhouse yesterday. The soil was nice and warm. I put some kale seeds in just to see what it does. because the temperature varies. It might come up.
Yeah. Direct sow. It's so much less work. And it's so easy for me to look after a direct sow because I can see where the kale will come up. I like doing the kale too.
Yeah.
And what I did is I peppered that new place that I covered up the lawn with the cardboard and the leaves and then my soil from the food forest. I direct sowed that with kale. And now the lady there, she's got all this beautiful kale. She doesn't eat it. But you know what it does is it flowers. The birds grab the seed and now they're dispersing it everywhere.
And it gets all the lead from the paint out of the soil.
Oh, you haven't heard the latest, man. Like that's one thing. But recently, the same guy that took the spray paint to the food here, he was here recently using the snowblower, and it all broke my window. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know." I said, "You have a snowblower. You don't know what you're doing with it? Why is there no snow on the owner's property? Why is it all on mine? Am I less?" And he did it 3 times. I was sitting in the living room with my family. We heard this like that, and the whole house shaking. I'm like, what the hell is this now? So I go out there and I open the window, and it just shoots right across the window and in my face, and I block it. I have it on camera. I've got video of it. And he came back and did it again, and I'm screaming, and he sees me, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was doing that." I said, "You always have that excuse. When you pressure washed, you blew all the crap on the house. When you painted, it blew all the crap on the house." And I said, "Look, not only that, one of your rental units had a meth lab in it, but you didn't know anything about that either, right?" And he's like, and I said, "When it blew up and burnt all those people, you didn't know anything about that either, right?" He just lost it and left. You can only take so much stupidity. Now, I don't think he's stupid. I think he's really smart, and he just plays stupid. But when I was done with him, he broke 3 fixtures of the window. The lower where the flange comes up and goes onto the cedar board, that was shattered all along. And then up along where the both windows separate, there's another a weather guard there that was shattered, and then the fixture to hold in the screen, that was broken right off. And he come over. He had the audacity to run over and says, "How did I break your window?" I said, "Because you're effing stupid. Now get off my land." And that happened recently, just like a week ago, not even a week ago. That happened. But you always have to watch out for people that are spraying weed and feed to Killex. There's one lady on the corner here. She sprays Killex all spring long. The little doggies come and walk on it. Within 2 or 3 years, they die of a growth or a neurological disorder. And I tell people, look, don't walk your dog there. This lady sprays Killex.
Yeah.
Oh, really? She does that. I mean, Killex kills mold, yeast, fungus, weeds, everything. Yeah. It doesn't discriminate. That only attacks one thing, And but you got to really watch, like spray paints. And the worst part was, because I had put the garden in for the homeowner, she came over with this huge bowl of tomatoes. I said, "I can't eat them." I said, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything that you do. I was really nice about it. And I said, "But you have to take those back." So guess what she did? She goes and gives them to the neighbors to eat. Even though I rejected them because of the paint, she gave them to the neighbors. You can't eat painted, bloody tomatoes, man. You just can't. And that guy, I didn't realize what had happened that's the same guy with the window. He same thing. He's 4 times he's screwed up around just my property 4 times. When he pressure washed the place when I was away, I came home and there's all this shit on my house. And I just painted the place, like that whole cedar wall, everything is painted with nice paint, $60 a gallon paint. And I'm looking at it, and everything he blew off that house with the pressure washer landed on my wall on the north side. And he knew what he was doing. Oh, I didn't know. You can play stupid for so long, but eventually you're going to run across someone that's not going to be as nice as me. That's what I told them.
Here's a shovel, dig a hole.
What do you do, right? What do you do? Like the one neighbor, she's the neighborhood watch lady. She's like, oh, they have to pay for your window. And she goes, where's the photos? And I said, well, I got it all on video. And she's like, well, they have to pay. And I'm like, well, you know what? By the time I chase after them for $500 for a window, I'd rather just get the window and put it in. I'm not chasing after someone for $500. You could be chasing a long time. That's the same lady. A few years ago, I come home. I was gone. She moved the fence and attached it to the house. I'm like, what the hell is this? She goes, oh, I need 6 more feet of land. I said, really? I said, watch this. I started ripping it down. I knew it wasn't right. And I moved it back over where it's supposed to be, hey? But she, and then I sent her a bill for $1,000. It took a couple of weeks. She got off easy. And she's like, I'm not paying it. I said, but you moved it. You're the one who moved it over and attached it to the house. But she comes from a country that if they want to feed the goats or whatever, they just move the fence over and they feed the goats, right? Like a pen, right? And that's her ideology. And I tried to tell her, you're in Canada now, and we got these things called property lines.
Yeah.
But it was really weird that she attached it to the house. And the guy that did it was the same guy that did the painting and the snow blowing. Same guy.
Real handy, man.
Oh. He's lucky he's not dealing with my grandfather or my father, because they would have sorted it out, But every time he's got an excuse. Well, she told me to move the fence there. I said, move the fence and attach it to my house? Really? I said, you're pretty stupid, hey? And every time I have an interaction with him, I call him stupid. And I don't want to be a name caller, but the acts that he is doing is of stupidity. I mean, and he's not stupid. He just doesn't give a rat's ass. He's been going through that way all his life. I mean, when the meth shack blew up down the road and he owned it, he owned the house, and all the people were burnt in it, he tells the fucking policeman, he goes, well, I didn't know they were doing that in there. Well, shit, man, everybody's seen you come and going from there for years. And it's your property. But he got away with it. They were suing. The people that got burnt sued, right? And exposed to all the chemicals. But this is the same freaking guy. And so, like I said, he's lucky he's not he's not dealing with the old man. Good night. Good night, Simran. Good night, Howie. Nice to meet all of you. Great. Nice to see you. It's not about the money. It's the principle. I chase for the window just to try and teach them a lesson. Well, you're wasting your time. You can't cure stupidity. Well, Uncle Al does with a wooden mallet. Uncle Al's a pretty serious guy. You're not allowed to attach to the house. Of course you're not allowed to attach to the house. I mean, that guy knew it. He owns properties here. He's not a poor man either. His wife's actually a really good gardener. I was surprised to see him like spray painting the house. I said to him, when you're in this municipality administering nauseous chemicals, there's a law, eh? There's a law that you're not allowed to do that. And he's stood there like he's dumbfounded, but he's playing it. I know he's playing it. Yeah. I've seen him play it for years. See no monkey, see no evil, whatever, screw you, buddy. So the last time with this last incident, I actually screamed at him, and people came out of their houses watching me scream at this son of a bitch. I couldn't hit him. I sure as the hell wanted to knock him down on his ass, but it wouldn't do any good. And then the only thing it did is drove my blood pressure through the roof, because I got to go and fix the bloody window. I still haven't done it, but I shored it up, and it's good enough for now until spring. But I shouldn't have to. So one of the guys that works for me, like does odd jobs, he's like, let's just put a higher fence there all the way through. Because when they did the spray painting, if I had a bit of a higher fence, it wouldn't have come down on my grapes and stuff. So I did put one there, but he's right. Just put a 10-foot fence, build a wall.
Build the wall. Yeah.
There's a reason, right? But you can't cure someone like that. And there's lots of people like that, too. That's the weird part. They don't care. They don't want to care. They just trudging through life, and that's it. And if you get hurt, well, too bad for you. And that's his attitude. He had no remorse to people that got burnt in the house. He had zero remorse. I'm like, Jesus, man. And he got away with it. His house is still standing, was all renovated, insurance paid. And I'm like, oh, okay. But now I see that it must be one of his relatives from his wife's side. The guy's an excellent gardener. He has sweet peas flowering right now, even through the winter. The guy was smart. He was very smart. I see him. He's probably from Thailand or Taiwan, somewhere around there. And you can tell, like, he has everything in beautiful potters. He has a citrus underneath the eave. And I went, yeah, just, you're lucky you're here 10 years later. 10 years ago, you would have got burnt. Right? What's oofta mean?
Have fun removing the frozen rain, CR.
Shawnee Gross says oofta. What's that mean? Huh.
Later.
Someone knew what it was. Mother Earth says, you betcha, Shawnee. Yeah. Yep. I don't know what that is. And Maru Frozen White Rain, again, take care. See you all. See you, CR. Yeah, that's a big thing. Was I didn't remove a lot of snow here. I had a coating of that safety salt down on the driveway. And as it went down, and then it made a crust. Luckily, I did that because then I could still push it a little bit. I didn't have a big removal. Yeah. And the sun hits it and warms up that concrete first thing in the morning. So oofta can be used to express a range of emotions, including surprise, exhaustion, relief, and dismay in regards to the neighbor's story. A range of emotions, including surprise, exhaustion, relief, and dismay. Sounds like a BS motion to me. But so now with the security cameras and everything that I upgraded here, I noticed there's less traffic through my yard. And I did notice one guy that was scoping the neighborhood. I knew it too. And then I was watching him, and he walks just out of range of the camera. The first day he walks by close to the house, and then the spotlight come on, and there he is. And then the next time he walked by, he was on the other side of the road where it didn't. And he always used the shadows to go through. There's always questionable people in the city and doing questionable things. And no matter where you live here, there's a questionable person going through your hood or living in your hood. That guy that did all that shit, he lives in my neighborhood. He just lives down the street. Absolutely clueless. No, nothing upstairs at all. Absolutely freaking. And them are the people that are no danger to themselves because they're too stupid to get hurt, but yet they'll hurt other people or their property. Like, I've had a lot of problems from that guy over the years, man. And when I let go with that freaking screaming tirade out of, he's just like, he goes to go out to touch me. He froze, right? And I said, don't touch me, man. And he's like, pulls his hand back like this. But, it's always going to be something living in the city. So perhaps one day I think I'd like to live outside of the city, where it's a little more rural country, where I don't have to worry about sniffing weed and feed or paint. Yeah, it's here you get anybody that even uses like things in the dryer for scenting the clothing drying. You can smell it. The first thing you smell are the pines in the morning, and that you smell those pines. They're beautiful. But within an hour of everybody waking up and turning on their dryers and all their stuff, you're like, well, now I've lost the scent of my pine. So I'm seriously considering of living in a tiny house or a cob house way out in the middle of nowhere. And I think I'd be happier than having to deal with someone, snow blowing and busting my freaking window, or painting my vegetables. I
Yeah.
think I'm ranting, Dave. Wow.
I used to be in the country, but now the town's building around and there's McMansions going up all around. It makes my property worth more, but less desirable in a way too. So you got it all out, the whole neighborhood.
Oh,
So we know what's going on in your neighborhood with all the.
well,
many
most
people.
people around here grow a little bit of food where I am, and because I rubbed off on them. And if but there's always going to be challenging issues like, and do I need it? No. Do I want my pure food? Yeah. There's one guy, is about 3 houses up, maybe 4, and he likes to sit there
It's really
brine in a residential areas. This isn't an industrial area, so all the places are very close, small lots. So every time he's welding and burning shit over there, plastic and everything else, it can be very irritating when you're sitting outside having a nice barbecue to smell the plastic burning. And that guy got over 200 notices from bylaw officers over a 2-year period for infractions. So you know what he did this past month? He built this 10-foot wall all the way around his property, and then the gates have these giant car tires on it, and it comes back and forth. So you can't see in and take a photo of the crap that he's doing, hey? But he spent a lot of money. That was all cedar. He spent a fortune on that. Yeah. But he sure terrorizes the neighborhood, that guy. He's got the neighborhood terrorized with banging and clanking all freaking night long, man. Or he'll leave a compressor going with an air hole in it somewhere, and it keeps kicking in and out, and the whole vibration goes through the ground, eh? And I once a day or 3 times a week, you'll see the police there constantly, bylaw, constantly. And he still does it. He still doesn't get that this isn't a commercial industrial area. It's a freaking, it's a residential area. There's a big difference. Hey, I don't mind welding, like you got something to weld, but sitting there and welding, making a boat trailer, really? I think that's more industrial. That's down the road. I mean, I like a boat trailer too, but then you see him get another old junky boat trailer and fix it up. Then he gets another one. And then you see it sold on Marketplace. So it's like, what? How do you deal with shit like that? So I asked my friend, he has like 29 acres down the road here in a big organic farm. I said, what do you do against, people like that? He goes, ignore them. There's nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
And that's about the truth of it. You have to ignore them. Good. Hello, Silly Lily. Cool channel. Have you been over to her husband's channel? It's all about the biology. You ever been to Silly Lily's husband's channel? It's a pretty cool channel. Keep paying the fines. Yeah. He must have fines, that guy. He must. Oh, I don't like dryer smell. Yeah. Well, I don't mind the dryer going, but you put those scented bounties in there and I got my window open. Yeah, it can bother me. You just close the window, right? But I was talking to my buddy and his best advice was just ignore them because you're just going to be driven mad, But I did that until recently with my busted window, and the whole neighborhood heard me yelling at the stupid son of a gun. But
so, Howie, what days are you going to have your one live a week? Have you decided?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
but it is one day a week, and I'm thinking it's either going to be a Friday morning or a Saturday morning, or a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And that's about it, It's and I'm also looking at doing videos of all the little creatures here, big and small, that coming through here, or a live cam on them, because they're funny as hell, man.
There's lots of people that have a live stream with bird feeders in their backyard for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, well, the bird feeder cam's a good idea, but But I've seen that too here in Victoria. They have several like that, and it's really cool. But what I like are all the animals that come, like all
Yeah.
the different squirrels. When you see two squirrels duking it out, that's pretty fun stuff, I think.
Yeah.
It's better than Tyson and Holyfield, you know. But anyway, Friday night or Saturday night or Friday morning or Saturday morning is a serious look at. I have thought about Monday too, but that's the beginning of my week, and I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't mind going on YouTube at the end of the week, and everything that I need to
End of the week.
done, you get caught up into it. And that was one thing. Like this past week, I was only on YouTube, I think, 3 times. And it was just to say hello to folks. You know, I had no time to go on. I had too much to do, and not only that, I couldn't see very good. But I'm doing a little bit better now, well, actually quite a bit better. But
Well, too, if you were on Friday night, like, or say at nighttime, your time, that'd be like midnight for me. So
again, at 5 o'clock on Friday would be 8 o'clock your time.
yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
That wouldn't be bad at all.
No.
And basically try to have a good topic and maybe like a StreamYard or something like, and basically it'd all be a coffee chat and just about anything. I'm not going to go to where there's just this topic anymore. I used to do that. I'm not into that anymore. If anybody wants to talk about anything, go ahead, as long as it's reasonable chit chat. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, if you want to discuss anything at all, like even I've come to the point where anything can be talked about that's reasonable. Chats are great that way, but it can get a little bit overwhelming if you just talking about politics, or you're just talking about religion, or you're just talking about your car you bought 10 years ago is still talking about it. I'm not into it.
Religion and politics are the two big killers.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, look at the world politics today. You got some pretty serious, crazy stuff going on, and look at religion. That's pretty much behind it all. Anybody want anything to do with that crap? No.
Inflation's going to get bad with all this stuff going on, because where I live, Quebec Aluminum goes to the River Rouge plant where they make F-150s. The engines are made on the Windsor side, get shipped down the river 2 miles.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be able to afford anything.
No, the thing is, the average person doesn't understand when there's a tariff, that means you pay to get that.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that China pays or Canada pays. That means you pay.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. And they're like, oh, no, we have tariffs. No, you have a tariff against you.
The price goes up.
Yeah. Yeah. High peace journey. Absolutely. And that's what's going on. Like I can't believe this situation that I see in this world for politics. You've got a known felon and a war criminal running the world. It's like, okay.
The world's just a big real estate shopping thing. That's all. So.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. For myself, if I ever had to leave here, and I don't think I ever will, but I'm just digging a freaking cave and a foxhole in a tunnel. Yeah. Bye. There's a million places here, old places with all kinds of gardens in them, like you wouldn't believe. Like all through British Columbia, people that were on the outskirts were brought into town. So the old mining down, the old logging sort and stuff, that's all gone.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of the pulp mills are all gone. Like most of them are gone. Now they have a few lumber mills still. But the pulp and paper, that all gets shipped raw log to China.
Everything around here too, like they used to have tanneries. They got rid of all that. Over in Michigan, the Huron River, there's all that PFD, all that bad stuff in the river, man. That's all flowing into the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
As they put more rules in, and it just we'll let the pollution go somewhere else. So.
Yeah, Shawnee makes a good point there. If they want to have tariffs, then get rid of income tax. Exactly.
Yep.
That's a tariff. That tariff is a tax.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
if they could make money that way, then they can reduce income tax.
yeah. Well, that was brought in to pay for World War II, but never left.
They never left. Yeah, World War One actually.
Was it one? I'm
Yeah.
out by 20 years. Pardon me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost 20.
Yeah. That was only 100 years ago.
But you know, if you don't take care and be frugal and look after a little bit you got, someone else will
Yeah.
take what you have, and that's that you know,
Dump it in the beach.
my grandfather had this weird idea that the planet Earth was like a peach, and if you tap that peach it starts rotting, and pretty soon all the way around it's rotted. And that's how he looked at the planet Earth. He said to me, you know, he said to me, he goes, I'm not going to see it in my time, the craziness, but you will. And I'm like, that son of a bitch was never wrong. He was never wrong. He was a great judge of character. He had a great constitution, but he just did things on probability, and he could see in his environment, what's the possibility of this going wrong? And the food situation, okay, the truck didn't show up, the shelf doesn't have anything on it. So grow your food, make your soil, learn new skills, and look after yourself. That's the very serious thing. Looking after your soil, it won't be uncommon. It will be very common to do it, from what I can see, the way things are going. That little bit of extra food that you get from having your chickens or quail or growing your radishes, whatever it is, it's going to make a difference when it comes to your grocery bill and your health. You know, the stuff in the store is not as healthy as what you.
Well, here with Peavey Mart closing for smaller homesteaders that, like, you know, people that got chickens, they buy feed there, other things. That's going to kind of, people got to look now because the supply chain there, you know, where am I going to buy my clothes now?
Years ago, I did First Nation studies, hey, and how they made clothing and, you know, whatever they needed from cedar. So every now and then I'll bump into a huge cedar tree where you can see where they stripped it off, like old ones from 100, 200 years ago to brand new ones. And they make cedar hats here, beautiful, worth a fortune.
Yeah.
Making your own clothing from your environment is really a lost wild craft that's just starting to take, but did stay in the communities, but not white people's communities, stayed way in the back in the native communities. And it's very cool to see them wildcrafting here on big scale now.
Yeah.
They go to the local park, and it's where Governor Douglas met all the natives to buy land and trade or whatever. And they did this stripping of the cedar of it, and it goes flat like this, and it comes up on an angle like that. And you can, when you see it, you know them guys are here that make their own clothing. They make their own shoes from it. They make their own hat. And when you see them, you swear to God, you're seeing a Sasquatch out in, like, you know, they're out in the wild. They go on these treks over in on the mainland, and they wander around for a couple, 3 years, and they look like a Sasquatch.
Huh.
For real, it's like their hair is super long and black, and they've got all this stuff made from the forest. It's like, holy shit.
Huh.
You know, a real earthling, and it's like, I'm in awe thinking about it. It's fantastic to see. None of that's going to be any problem for the planet to reclaim.
Well, skills now too. People used to just go to a place like Peavey Mart and maybe get 6 chickens or something. It was convenient. Now people got to incubate eggs and stuff, you know.
Shawnee's talking about they're dumping toxic waste from the Palisade fire in the ocean, and they're trying to stop it. Jeez. Well, that's all fine and dandy, you know, to stop that, especially if you're eating from there. I mean, that's really fine and dandy. But, you know, it makes it tough here because for years, a lot of people didn't eat anything from the ocean here out in Cordova Bay where I live. They just wouldn't eat it because the sewage pipe would come right out and you could see it. The sewage went direct right into the ocean. So you never got to eat any of the clams or oysters. You had to drive 100 miles.
Do you still have Harleys washing up on the beach from a tsunami in Japan?
That's on the West Coast.
Like Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's on the West Coast. I'm on the Inside
Oh,
Passage.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
On the
no,
West
no, and
Coast, I
stuff
know.
came from Japan and made it all the way here. But containers come up on the land here quite often. Containers
Yeah.
full of children's toys to refrigerators. The first time I ever
Yeah.
seen it was these Colt cars made in Japan. They were
Oh,
Colt.
yeah. I remember those.
Yeah, and
Dodge Colt.
yeah, they were Dodges, but they were never made here.
No.
and I'm like, I'm going along a Long Beach. I'm like, is that a Dodge Colt on the beach? I thought like someone freaking drove it there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's pretty beat up. And then I get up to it, and someone's taking out the motor and
Huh.
parts. And for years, you could buy a Dodge Colt here for pretty cheap.
We had our Rocky Boos. Everybody could buy a brand new Malibu like in 91. They're supposed to go to Iraq, and then they weren't. They all had 3-speed manual transmissions, and they were built for the desert.
Bye, Mandy. Yeah, yeah. Anything could come up on the beach here, from container, shipping container, to runners. That was a problem there for a few years. All these left-footed runners were washing up on the beach here, but they had that human foot in it, and they were,
Yeah. I heard about that.
that was happening for years and years. And there was
And the
always
pig
these
farm.
large Nike runners with the foot in it. And only a certain gangster would wear those. And
Yeah.
so you know what it was about. But you'd hear all these stories. And they were found right here, right where I live. And that one really weird thing is, about 10 years ago, they had these cards, these plastic cards, and they'd put them in the ocean to see where they would all go and be found, right? It was an experiment. So lo and behold, we found one when we were out trolling in Souk. We found one. We're like, and it said, call this number. So we called the number, right? And that's what it was all about, to find out where all these feet were showing up, And there was stories, but you don't hear it anymore. It hasn't happened for a while. So you got to wonder if the people that were doing it ran out of people to do that to, or were they in jail now, or are they dead? There's only a certain amount of possibilities, right? But the ocean, it can hide a lot of crafts here, watercrafts with houses on it, and there's a million bays and coves here. There's or more. There's a lot of little islands. There's thousands of islands here, from little 1, 2, 3, 4-acre, 5-acre islands to 800-acre islands. And a lot of them nobody lives on, because it's pretty much you can't inhabit it unless you know exactly what you're doing. Like, you go to the Broughton Archipelago, there's thousands of islands there, and it's a pretty serious place, and you better know how to land a boat on a pretty serious place like that. And there are some people that when they want to go and hide, that's where they go. That's where they go. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty tough life, man, if you're used to having your food on a shelf. It ain't easy. No. One island I went to, there was one guy. It was a 90-acre island or something. There was one guy that was living on the island, but precariously in a tree house. And we found him, and we're like, hey, how's it going? He looked pretty buggy-eyed. So we kind of backed off. And then every time I went to that island, sure enough, he was still there. So what we did, we leave a bunch of cans of tuna or whatever food we had extra before we would go back from our trip.
All right, OJ and Deb.
What's that?
Oh, coffee walks and whatever from Manitoba just coming in.
Oh, he's
OJ and Deb. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Have a great weekend. Shawnee grows with the fire in the battery storage plant that has emitted lithium in the area. Farmers are warning not to eat certain foods grown in that area. Interesting. That's why I heavily advocate grow your own food. Be like Dave Knight. Get yourself a tractor. Because, you're not used to a certain way of making soil or growing food. The easiest way that I ever seen on YouTube was what you do. You just put your leaves down, you put your compost there, you turn it even with a tractor. Most people haven't got the brains yet for a tractor. They're out there flipping it, and you want to heat your compost up. Like, if you're using whatever you're using, lawn clippings in there, you want to heat it up. You're doing the right thing. You're
Well,
not.
that's why I turn it all the time. You know.
Yeah. Well, you don't. Your tractor does.
Well, I got to move my pinky.
Well, that's a pretty rough life you
What's the
have.
control?
But like any way you can make soil, do it, because it's like money in the bank. For every bag of soil, you got a $10 bill.
Well,
Or
that's the thing. I have no expense now for my garden. I got all my seeds under control. I make my own soil. Got my own water.
yeah,
Inputs are nothing.
yeah, you can rent a bagging machine too if you ever want to bag up a few pallet loads of soil that you don't need anymore. There are machine rentals, a soil
Yeah,
bag. You can rent them, and the thing is, if you've got a market for it, like at the local Walmart, they'll take it,
yeah,
or other places like the like Home Depot, they'll take it, and you go in, and they've got salesmen for that, and that's how it's done. And or on the side of the road with your pallet, just dump the freaking pallet
yeah.
on the side of the road. Be
Well, I
nice.
have
Put the money in the bank here. You got a little piggy bank or something.
all sorts of stuff. I got branches and stuff over the winter in the garden to chip, but it's not worth it because I live so close to the dump. I just take a trailer load there and get some fresh compost for $10, and I'm home.
Yeah, if it's a problem like that, I would turn it into biochar.
Yeah,
That's what I would do. I would burn
yeah.
all that and
Burn it, throw some dirt on it, take it off, burn it again.
well, the thing is, when you have wood ash, you don't have as much slugs. Okay, you don't
Yeah,
have as much bugs and slugs crawling through that because it gets in their joints and it wears a
yeah.
hole. So the more you put down your wood ash, you load your biochar with that wood ash. That's my favorite thing to
Well,
do.
my wood stove goes all the time, and when I clean it out, I got biochar, and I spread it on the garden on top of the leaves, so it helps rot it down.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
don't need lime as much.
No, you don't. It's very alkalizing. You're absolutely
Yeah,
correct. But you know what I found was, even though it's really powerful alkalizer, it's great on the rhododendrons, blueberries, acid lovers. I'm like, how the hell does that work? But the thing is, in British Columbia, that as soon as it starts falling all the needles off the trees here, the cedar, there it's all acidic again. So
yeah,
it's like up and down, up and down.
yeah,
And the thing is that we do have fertile ground here. Unfortunately, it's just a bunch of houses built on it.
yeah.
That's a
Same here.
problem. That's a real problem. So a lot of people here make soil, like my organic farmer buddy. He's got 29 acres, and he that's all he does, pretty much all year long. He's moving that soil he's made.
You
And
haven't been
he's
to
very
Toronto for a long time, Howie.
what's that?
Toronto, all that nice farmland north of Toronto, it's all just being covered with houses.
Terrible, terrible. Because if you got to produce food for all those
Yeah.
people, there's going to be some really hangry people around.
When I
And
was a
that's one
kid,
of
there
the
was
things my grandfather warned me about, was people that are going to be more desperate in my time than it was in his time. But his
in the
time was
60s
interesting. It was very interesting, his time. Yeah.
on the south side of the 401. I remember farms still, and now it's like all the way out to Barrie, all city.
Yeah. Yeah. There's acid loving plants and alkaline loving plants. There's only the two. There's only two types of trees and plants too. There's lateral growing roots, and then there's taproot. So you see people planting all of them in one little shallow hole. Well, that's okay. That works well for the lateral, but the taproot one is going to have a hard time going through that hard pan or that clay or whatever. So you need a lateral or a horizontal hole. And the big thing I like is making a T. So I dig my hole and make a T, so the lateral growing root can anchor, and then the vertical one will go straight down. And I dig that 6-7 feet, and that's how I plant. And it seems to work. And I learned that from old people.
Yeah,
showing you what to do. There's only two ways to plant. One is the shallow, same size as the potter with the T, and then straight down and plant like figs, peaches, stuff like that. That's a taproot that goes straight down. That doesn't go this way looking for water and nutrients. It goes down, and they're mineralizers. So there's only two.
comfrey, stuff like that. Really big taproot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daikon radishes, they're great for breaking up your soil.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah.
They're the best, especially daikon.
I saw a
Daikon.
whole field planted last fall, and then the frost killed them, and then this winter will kill them, and then just till them up into the soil.
Yeah. 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 It's growing food is not going to be just a hobby anymore. It's going to be like a mainstay of your local village, is what I see. My grandfather seen it years ago. People going to work, coming in from the farms and into the city, and he used to talk about stuff like that. They're all going to need food, and he was always encouraging me to grow food. He grew all his own food, caught his own fish, shot his own deer and elk. He never went to the store and got much. He liked his A&W root beer. Other than that, he didn't go to the store and get anything.
Well, it's amazing that the last generation is all dying off that remembers the Great Depression and World War II, and just things are just doing the same thing again. People forget history.
Yeah. Well, really, back in the day, there weren't fat people, eh?
No,
people weren't fat because you had to work. You had to go outside. Now everybody's inside and just goes and buys it off the shelf or has it delivered. It's even less work now. And
well, in my area, everybody had a small house because we're outside all the time. It's only in the wintertime you're inside. Most of the time you're outside.
Yeah. That's where you're going to burn calories. You have to stay warm. Okay? Simple. Very simple. The deer, they fatten up for winter. They're really fat in the fall. And by the time winter's done, they're lean. Well, humans were the same way, but now we all sit in a cubicle all winter. We just don't have to go out and chop wood. We don't have anything to do. We don't have to hang laundry. We don't have to do anything. It's just pick up your cell phone and order up whatever it is at your door. And then there's 1 second on your lips and a lifetime on your hips. Not that there's anything wrong with chunky girls. I love all beautiful women, right? But to stay and maintain health, I have to walk 3 to 5 times a day, a kilometer, and it's hard for me because I have comorbidities. So even if I find myself, I'm 30 pounds overweight, and that makes a difference with comorbidities, or if you're dealing with any medical issue, to stay healthy. And that oxygenation, man, that really helps get the oxygen in. Some deep breathing as soon as you wake up. Oh yeah, just boom, I do my nutraceuticals, then I do my deep breathing, and then I go for the walk. If I don't do that, I'm just off-centered. I have no energy. You're blah. It's like, okay, all I want to do is read my book and watch the birds. I watch the birds a lot. Hey, they're fun. They're absolutely adorable to see. I had a big red-tailed hawk about 2 weeks ago, came in, and he sat in my Honeycrisp. And here's the little birdies. They forget all about the guy upstairs. And here he grabbed a squirrel and another one, and he feasted for about 2 hours, and then haven't seen him since. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So I just want to take some video of that. Walking to the grocery store helps. Oh yeah, any walking is good for you. Any walking, like whenever you can walk somewhere, do it. Other than getting in that car, unless you're, you could have a comorbidity, or you can have a disability where you need a walker, or you need a cart, or electric scooter. Why not make your life happier, ergonomic? Like, you're not going to be as miserable. For myself, anyway, that's what I found when I was at the hospital. I had to use the walker because I kept bumping into the freaking wall. So once I bumped into the wall, I knew I could go that way, right? So yeah, the nurses.
Well, it's almost noon. I got to get going here, and I'm glad I'm not in Manitoba today with minus 26.
Yeah, I don't want to be there either. Good night. Thanks for the seeds, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. See ya whenever you decide to come back on YouTube. So,
in about a week or 2, I'll be back. I got some things to take care of, and I won't be interested. So, yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah, life happens. Shit happens.
Yeah. Okay. Nice talking to you, Howard.
See you, my friend.
Bye, everybody.
As kids, we were outside from the moment the sun came up. Smart. It went down. My mom used to have to call us in for mealtime. She got no resistance. I bet you were hungry. Absolutely so, Lily. Coffee walks and whatever. Bye, Dave. Sunny and minus 26. It feels like minus 37. I ain't going there to Manitoba no time soon. I got a little niece there too. Coffee sure stains your teeth, eh? Oh, well. What do you do, right? Have a great day, everyone. Peace Journey. See you, Peace Journey. I'm so happy we're getting snow. Oh, you just go around cussing all the time, do you? Dave has left the building. Nice to see you, Dave. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great to see Dave. Well, I must save myself. I have to go. It's coming up to 9 o'clock and I have some things to do. It's a pleasure to see everybody here and blessings to all. And remember your soil. Whatever you do, remember your soil. It's a different kind of cold than in the prairies. Yeah, BC Churbs, how's it going? And I love that guy. See you around. Well, yeah, I should be going live once a week, which day I haven't known yet, but it's in about a week to 10 days. I'll be back again. You take care, Shawnee, and I'll be watching your live stream from last night because I mentioned the word permaculture on it. Coffee walks and whatever. Thank you kindly for being here. Silly Lily, you have a great day. Peace and love, folks. Fun surprises. Yeah, I'll be watching it. But I'm saving it for tomorrow, I think. Maybe today. Who knows? Depends on what I get through. But you all take care and end stream now. And remember, it's all about the soil. It's all about the biology. And you can check that channel out. That's Silly Lily's Hubby's channel. Very cool channel. It's one of my favorites. So, I mean, I love all channels, but some you're going to go some. I's doing good, Howie. Reasonable. I'm reasonable. They didn't reattach some of the occluded veins. You know, they didn't attach it. They're not going to. So, okay, I'll deal with it. And there's some more small little surgeries that's coming up, laser and stuff like that again. And there's a bunch of stuff coming up on that. But I have other problems too, and I appreciate the thoughts. Blessings to you. Peace out, Journey. Peace, Journey. See ya. All good. Much love, mad respect. End stream now. Take care of yourself. Look after yourself. No one's going to do it for you. Take care of yourself now and you won't have problems later. Don't eat junk food. Only eat what's in its own package, like nuts, eggs, meat, fish, and from clean sources. It's all about the biology. You bet there. So you will take care. Make your soil in layers from biomass that's free in your environment. See you, KP Heathen. End stream now.